Well, disgraced doctor Nandipha Magudumana and 5 co-accused are back in the Bloemfontein Magistrate's Court. They are expected to apply for bail today. Let's head over to the court now, where senior reporter Silindelo Masikane, who, by the way, Slee, a lot of very good reaction to your exclusive that you had yesterday, that you broke the story here on eNCA when you spoke to that inmate from the Mangaung prison. We can maybe touch on that in a moment and what possibly could come out of that either in further investigations. But first of all, before we get there, let's just talk about expectation today. Is everyone going to be in court? If they are, I imagine not just huge media interest, but security as well.
Certainly so. That's been the theme throughout the court appearances here in the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court. Gareth, of course, we are now expecting the bail applications finally for Dr. Nandipha and 6 others rather, to actually resume here in the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court. You would remember that a couple of weeks ago, Dr. Nandipha's father, Zolile Sekeleni, received 10,000 rand bail, and that is because an agreement had been reached and the murder charge dropped against him in terms of this particular case involving or revolving around the Thabo Bester escape from the Mangaung Correctional Centre. Just recently, last week, when we were expecting these bail applications to resume, the NPA then released a statement the day after, actually saying that the NPA was going to then provisionally withdraw as well the murder charge against Dr. Nandipha and the co-accused in this matter, which of course then changes the game essentially for what's going to transpire inside court. The charges that the accused now face are of a Schedule 1 offence, meaning the onus is now on the state to prove why they should remain behind bars. Last week we saw defence attorneys for the accused raising concerns around the 2 days set aside for these bail applications not being enough time in order to conclude the bail applications, meaning there is a possibility that between today and tomorrow we may see these proceedings spilling over to next week, and that is where we are expecting Thabo Bester himself to return to the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court as well to make his second appearance. In total so far we have 8 people, including Thabo Bester, who have been arrested for the escape. We had an opportunity to unpack the bail proceedings with a legal expert. Let's just take a listen to what they had to say with regards to what we can expect inside court.
Should the state not proceed with the murder charge, that the matter could possibly resort under a lower schedule, which means that the state will have to prove that it is in the interest of justice that the accused remain in custody. If we expected, or as we expected last week, for a murder charge, that would have automatically elevated the matter to a Schedule 6 offence, which means that the applicants had to bear the onus of proof. One can, however, if there are previous convictions in any one of the applicants, then one can expect that that could also bump up, if I can say it in that terms, the matter to a higher schedule, which will then again turn the onus back to the applicants.
All right, so Slee, just give us a sense then for viewers who are going to want to be tuning in either here on channel or also on eNCA.com what time court gets underway. And just remind us as well, no other changes with the court appearance for Thabo Bester himself. That's still coming up on the 16th of this month, if memory serves correctly.
Exactly, that is what we are expecting next week. From my understanding and from speaking to some of these sources around this matter, next week may be possibly the last time we see Thabo Bester in person in the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court, due to the security and safety risks around transporting him between the Kgosi prison as well as Bloemfontein. So we may see an application perhaps from from the Justice Department for Bester in future to appear virtually from Pretoria. So at this point, we are expecting him, however, to be physically at the Bloemfontein Magistrate Court next week on the 16th of May, joined by the 7 others who've been arrested. That's Dr. Nandipha, as well as her father, and of course the G4S employees and former employees who've been implicated in this matter. Today we're expecting proceedings to start at around 9 a.m. And of course we do know Dr. Nandipha, as well as the other female co-accused, are being transported from Kroonstad, which is about 2 hours away, Gareth, from Bloemfontein, because that is the only prison that can house females that is in and around the Free State area. So, bail proceedings may be delayed in terms of the start. Usually they start just after 9 a.m. But we are expecting, of course, that the bail applications in itself will begin. And of course, we are expecting a presence outside court in terms of that murder charge having been dropped. Of course, the family of Katlego Bereng still has many questions and still seeking answers with regards to who is responsible for what happened to Katlego Bereng and how his body ended up in the Mangaung Correctional Center. So proceedings starting after 9 a.m. and of course we will be bringing you those visuals live here on eNCA.
Yeah, of course, and if you can't be with us the whole day, you can follow us on Twitter at eNCA. Also look for Silindelo Masikane on Twitter. By the way, if you've not had a chance, that exclusive that her and I were talking about yesterday when she broke the story, it is an interview with an inmate from the Mangaung Correctional Center giving great details of how it was like having Thabo Bester inside the prison. That exclusive, it's a top trending story on our website, eNCA.com. Easy to find. Just go to eNCA.com. Down the left-hand side, you'll see the trending section. It is the #1 story in the country at the moment.